delay. All right, so we are live. Let's see if we can pop up here real quick, see what's going on. Give it a second. All right. So it looks like we have a few people joining us early this morning, or early this afternoon, or the evening, depending on where in the world you are. So it looks like we have a few people joining us early this morning, or early. Oh, I'm picking up an echo.
That was me. My bad.
I'm Brian, Arrowhead Garage, working on a 67 Firebird, and the gentleman to this way. That way
Yeah,
is
Mike from Lake and Lodge Garage.
And what are you working on today?
Right now I'm working on a 55 or a 57 Chevy pickup. I haven't decided yet. I got choices.
I like having choices.
Yeah.
And this guy down here.
Louis from First Generation Garage, and working on a couple of first gen Firebirds all at the same time.
And missing in action is Jonathan from Vinyl Village Garage, but he has some family stuff going on, so he's taking care of that, being a dad. But he may join us towards the end of the show tonight. Louis, what have you been working on this week?
This week I'm working on the Naybird. We got some engine things we're gonna be doing to it, and I also working on a hood, cutting up 2 hoods to make one.
What's wrong with the hoods?
One of them is a 400, a real 400. The other one is a repop, and the real 400 has a brace, a part of the brace that is rotted out.
Oh,
so this repop is damaged, but at the place that is not damaged, I need it. So I'm gonna cut that off. And hold on for a second.
All right, show us.
Check this out.
There you go.
So that's gonna be on my next video.
That's wicked cool.
Yeah, and guess what? I never seen this, Jonathan, either. I shared it with him, and I want to know if Mike has it on his Ram Air hood. It's the first time. My first Repo 400 hood, by the way, was long time ago, many years ago. It's still on my 67. This has happened to be a Repo that Lady Bird owner brought to me in PA. Got hurt on the travels, right? But it has the 67 hood latch cutout. And back then, when you was buying Repos, there was no 67 available at all. You only had the option of 68 and 69 hood latch brace on a hood, aftermarket hood. So, Mike, what you have for?
I have no idea. I have not seen any difference in hood latch designs for any of those.
Well, I want to make a video on that because people pray, they believe that, especially on Facebook, they say that you have to have a 67. Listen, let me tell you something. I've been rocking my 67 with an original 67 latch on a 68/69 hood brace.
Yeah.
And I never had problems. And trust me, I took it down the highway many times. I had that car for 22 years. So I'm gonna be explaining that.
I have the 67 latch with a 69 Trans Am hood. Works fine. And I had people telling me that's not going to work. That's not going to work. And I'm like, works great. I don't see any issue at all. Lined up perfect.
I have a video coming out.
So the latch is more important than the hood.
Correct. A lot of people are saying that because you have 2 steps going down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Like 69 don't. 69 you close in, that's it. And 67 you can actually feel like boom, boom.
There's the safety at the top, and then the final latch at the bottom.
Right.
Yes.
That, like, if you don't really come onto it, it's sitting on the safety height, not the bottom height.
Correct. But people preach that, like Mike said, this thing ain't gonna work, or your hood is gonna fly open. Let me tell you something. I have that sucker on my 67 for over 15 years, I believe, and I never had it, no problem. And I still feel the 2 steps,
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
My first car was a 56 Chevy. And I had the hood latch fail because the way the latch mechanism was in the grill, it was not a very good design.
Okay.
And that thing flew up on. It was not an enjoyable experience. I was doing about 60, and it came right up over, and then it bent and matched the roof and drove the 3 points of that chrome eagle right through the roof of the car. I had to put a sunroof in after that.
Ooh, really? Damn.
Oh yeah, and I had my buddy in the passenger seat. We had to, because we could each see about this much out that curved windshield, and that was how we got off the road.
Wow.
It was pretty wild. Not fun at all. But yeah, I do know that mine has the 2-stage latch, like the 67, because the 67 latch. But it works perfect with the 68 hood. Nope. 69 hood. No problem at all.
Okay.
That's going to be a cool video, Louis.
Yeah, I explained all that crap on that video. I'm still making it.
Yeah. Do you have a 69 latch?
I have all latches for 67, 68, 69.
LML has it all.
But
video. Yeah.
I explained what to look for and how they look different and blah blah blah.
Yep. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, I've been painting poorly. I've been painting my chassis, and I had a mild disaster last week, and I used this. Big mistake.
Ooh.
And when I was welding on the chassis, anywhere I did MIG welding, I used some of this just to keep the splatter down, and that keeps the little beads from sticking on the metal. Silicone based. As soon as I wiped it all down with wax and grease remover, as soon as I put epoxy on it, it fisheyed everywhere I used this stuff. And I ended up having to strip the whole chassis back down and respray the epoxy today. So not a fun experience. So if it says silicone, don't even let it in your building. It's not worth it. I didn't even notice it was silicone. I should have known better.
Yep. It landed on a perfect show because we are talking about paint.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it was horrible. I lost my mojo. I was like, what the hell did I do wrong? Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm painting. I'm into painting a chassis, and the two things I hate painting the most in life are roll cages and chassis.
Oh yeah.
Roll cages are a nightmare. It's so bad. It just you just can't get around every pipe without runs, and you got to be a contortionist to get in there in the first place. It's a nightmare. So
and you can't paint it before you weld it in.
No. So give me a good old body any day.
What I hate about frames are you can't get to clean the inside too good as the outside.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I hate.
The tubing chassis, I've been pretty good about that. I just made sure everything was sealed off. You can't get to the inside anymore. So
no,
it's all sealed.
Well, I haven't done much of anything this week. It's been raining the entire week.
Still raining?
Wow. Still raining, and rain for this weekend. And Monday, sunshine. Monday.
Nice. Okay.
So
Billy Brew, can you guys talk about Summit paint?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've been using the Summit now for a couple years, and it's worked out super well for me. Brian struggled with it a little bit there, but I think we got him over the hump on it. But it was mostly setup issues, right, Brian? I mean, you had some a lot of fish eyes, and then once you got it dialed in, I think you got much better.
Oh yeah. I like it.
But I use the Summit epoxies on this chassis. I'm actually using an Eastwood product for the. I like this chassis black, the ceramic 2K that Eastwood has. It's really rugged. Once it's on there, it's hard. So and it isn't affected by brake fluid or anything else. It's really strong. So I've been sticking with the Eastwood chassis black. But the Summit paint is the rumor has it it's made by Sherwin-Williams. Mm-hmm. They really good product, I think. I've had super good luck with it laying down nice. The only problems I've had were human errors. That's it. That was it. So
that's been it.
And so that was the only issues I had with it. But yeah, I think it's priced right. and you almost can't order a small enough quantity to not have free shipping. So,
right. Yeah. Yep.
And it comes pretty quick. So I don't know.
All right, let's
So
see.
this is the gun I've been using, and this is the new
Harbor Freight one.
the new Hobo Freight Light.
Yep.
How you
That
like it?
worked really good. It's right there. I mean, it's right on point no matter what you do. But this is this is what I call the blue gun. This is like their middle of the road line. It's a 1.7 HVLP tip. I also have the other one, the HVP. But this is the one I use for epoxies. I use this for, like heavier stuff like the ceramic black for the 1.7. The Black Widows and stuff, those have like the 1.3. Those are great for clears and stuff. But this is the one I tend to like. But this little light, I think it was only like, I can't remember how much it was, but it wasn't huge money.
It's like $40 or something.
It's like $40.
Yeah.
And it's rechargeable. It fits pretty much any gun. It just has a collar that goes on there. And
Yeah, I gotta buy
kept
that.
forgetting to turn it on. I'm not used to it. I'm like, and I'd be like halfway through, why is it so dark over here? And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, just hit my little button here and I'm good to go.
There you go.
Yeah, it worked out nice. Pretty happy with it. So I don't know. Not bad. But yeah, the Summit Paint product, I'm a believer in it. I've used the Eastwood product. I've used Summit. I used to use a lot of DuPont back in the day. But today's chemistries are so different from what we used to use.
Even 10,
back
15
in the
years
day.
ago.
Oh, it's crazy. All these urethanes, these 2K urethanes, they just, it's hard to screw them up, man. It really is. They paint
Unless
so
you
nice.
use reducer.
And yeah, or you use this bullshit right here. Yeah, this is going right in the trash after this show is over.
Good place
So,
for it.
yeah.
I'm gonna say something. If people out, the guys out there that never experienced these paint guns, I strongly suggest you pick up the purple Harbor Freight gun and learn from there.
Yeah.
Because once you dial in these guns, it's just almost like the same scenario like Michael said about the paints. Just like you learn about those guns, even the cheap ones work excellent as long as you know how to dial it in.
Yeah.
They work really good. I mean, wow. I painted cars with that purple paint, with that purple gun. And let me tell you something. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And they, there's some really good videos. I sent some to Brian last week. Brian, I can't remember.
Yep.
From a YouTube page called Paint Society.
Yep.
And they do a really nice job of explaining, how to set up your gun. And they're a big proponent of leaving the paint wide open, just basically screw this knob back or screw it in until you feel it start to move the trigger out on you. That's wide open. Then you adjust the fan with the side screw till you get the width that you want. It's super easy when you use their method. And it works good. Painting a chassis, I can't do a really super wide fan. So otherwise I'm just spraying all over the place.
Correct.
But yeah, it works good for me, but that again, it's everything. But the big thing that you got to do when you're painting is you got to have clean, dry air. If you have any moisture in your air, you're going to eat it. And it's just going to fisheye and you're going to, Brian, I sent Brian to Harbor Freight like 10 times. You need a different regulator, something with a water trap. Do this, do that. And ultimately it worked. It did work at the end. So, but if you don't have a water trap or something good like that, you struggle because even just running your normal airlines, you've run those lines for all your air tools. And God help you if you have an oiler in your system somewhere. Those really screw up paint.
Definitely.
But, that's... and if you use an air hose that's ever used an oiler, forget it. Don't use that hose.
Yeah. I'd replace my hose the whole bit just to be on the safe side.
Yeah. And ultimately, we got rid of the fisheye by doing that, right? I mean, that's ultimately what got rid of all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And draining the tank.
I never, and I picked that tank up secondhand.
Yeah.
For like $50, and I never even thought about draining the tank. So Mikey's like, drain the tank. I'm like, I do every day. I just pull that little pin. He's like, no, on the bottom.
On the bottom.
On the bottom.
Believe it or not, I do mine is a big tank, and I do it once a month.
Yeah.
Really?
I have that. I put that condenser on between the pump and the tank. I never have to drain my tank anymore. That eliminates all the water between those 2 points. I keep promising to do a video on that, and I will someday, I promise. But I just took a transmission cooler with some like 8AN fittings, and I disconnected from where the pump goes into my tank, ran it through this cooler, then over to a water trap, and then into the tank. Not a drop of water since I did that. Wow. On a really cold day, I'd have frost coming out of my air tools here in the shop. It was really crazy before that, but that works so nice. And I got that from the guy there, Roger, Mr. Fireman 134, whatever. I can't remember the number, but Roger does a really good job on that stuff. And he had a similar setup, so I kind of adapted it to my rig, and no water problems since then.
Sweet.
None. But I will tell you, that line between the pump and your tank, that gets hotter than a cannon. You got to only use copper line. Don't try to use hose. That gets you'll see it with the air fins on it. A lot of them will have like cooling fins.
Yep.
Don't put your hand on it. You will leave your fingerprints right there.
And Summit paint is what, about $140 a gallon?
What paint?
The Summit.
Summit, yeah.
Yeah,
depends on the color. It depends on the color. Single stage solid colors, it's about $140 a gallon. That's cheap.
Yeah.
I want to say traditionally red was always the most expensive because the pigment costs more. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's still true or not, but
it could
look,
be. Now,
we're painting cars that are you're going to spend a couple $100 a gallon now. It's the price of poker, right? I mean, we're painting cars that you don't want it to fail.
Right.
Yeah. Right. You just don't.
My neighbor is building a custom, like half Chevy, half Ford, half whatever thing. And it came to him as yellow, and he wants to keep it yellow. So he took a part down to the paint store in town, and a quart of paint was $130.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like,
so Wilder 9, they do not do OEM colors at Summit. That is one thing they do not do. Eastwood, however, does do OEM colors. And I have a sneaking suspicion that Eastwood and Summit get their paint from the same place. There's too much commonality there for it to not be. So, but Eastwood will do OEM mixed colors. I just got some for my truck because I have a spot on the fender I got to fix. That is getting starting to see some rust, so I want to clear it up. But yeah, that's one thing Eastwood does not do. I mean, Summit does not do is custom mixes or OEM colors.
Yeah. And then you get like in the single stage. I bought the little $5
the card.
Yeah, the card, and there must have been 24, 32, whatever. Different standard colors to pick from. And so I was quite impressed with just the colors that they offered. But at $140 with free shipping for a gallon,
you can't beat that.
No,
anything over $100 with Summit ships free. So pretty much anything with paint ships free.
It's like 2-day delivery, I think is what it is for free. And then you get the reducer. Yep. Yeah, look at that card. Look at that.
They got a really nice, for hot rodding, they got a really nice array of colors. They certainly do. If you can't find something on here that you really like, well, I'm not really sure what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I agree. And so that you get a gallon of paint, or for me, I'm going to have to order another gallon because I had to sand down 2 fenders and a hood. So that was a wash. But then you get your activator. Activator was like $45 for a a can of activator, and then the reducer was like 25, and then the fisheye one was like 15 or 16, and the fisheye will last me forever.
Yeah, it's just like a cap full.
Yeah,
it's a very small amount of fisheye eliminator.
So for what, $225, I have all the paint and all the additives I need to basically paint a car.
Right.
If we're doing single stage.
Yep. Not to mention your cups and your disposable cups and all.
You have your
all the other shit we need, right? But yeah, it all works out. It's still a lot cheaper than sending it to somebody to paint it for you.
Oh yeah,
you're damn right about that.
It's crazy money now.
Yeah,
and find somebody that's even willing to paint a classic car is not easy these days. All these guys want to do is collision work because that's where they make all the money. And it's, you know, the insurance work it's big money for them. So there's one guy in our area that'll print classic cars, and that 57 Bel Air I had in here a few weeks back is going to him. But it's you know, and he's willing to do it, but it's going to take over a month. So think about a month of his time doing body and paint on a car. What does he have to charge for that? I mean, it's mind-boggling.
And I think that's the key, is that the actual painting process isn't the hard part.
Right.
It's the body work and the hours of doing it and sanding it, and like, oh, you found another you know, high spot or low spot, and then there you go, mix up some more Bondo or tapping it down. That's where all the time is at.
And all those guys that really, you know, that at that level of painter, they're going to want to strip it right to the bottom. They're going to strip it to the metal themselves because they're not going to trust anything else that's underneath that.
Yeah,
you know, that anybody else did. That, just like any of us. I mean, we're not going to, you know, there's Bondo in that fender. I want to see what's under that.
Yeah,
correct. Yeah,
because we're sinking so much money and time into these paint jobs. You can't just assume that whoever did it knew what the hell they were doing.
Yep.
Like on my 67, when I started sanding down that rear quarter panel, and all of a sudden I had rust and like freaking an inch, well, a half inch maybe of Bondo. I was like,
yep.
Okay. So I cut the metal out, bought a new
dig it out.
Yeah. So
dig it out. There's some crazy stuff you see out there, man. It just
definitely.
But again, it's all those wham bam shops, right? They want it in and out. They want the Mako paint job, the $100 paint job. Remember the commercials? Bring it to Mako.
Yep, I remember Mako. Yep.
And
it'll last you 1 year if you're lucky.
Yeah, just enough to put a for sale sign on it on your lawn.
Yeah, you can't
paint right over the chrome.
You can't bash the body shop. I mean, it's a business. They're there to make a profit.
Yeah,
employees to pay. They have expenses. So if they can get a Hyundai in there and get an aftermarket bumper, shoot it, put it on, blend it, out the door it goes, $2,500 profit, then I can't beat them down for that. But that's not for me. That's not what I want for my car.
Right. So, not for restoration work. It's different.
Exactly.
So VHP 454 is saying I use PPG Deltron base between 500 and 1,200 a gallon. Ah, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And he's also got some pretty sweet paint booths, apparently. But yeah, I got a homemade one.
Garage.
I got a homemade paint booth. I'm happy to have it.
Yeah.
It works pretty damn good.
Earl Shibes is the one that did the 99. Any car from 99.95. Yeah. That shows my age.
Paint right over the chrome strip. It don't matter. Just let her eat.
Deal with it later.
Yeah. We'll scrape your windshield off with a razor later. It'd be fine. Yeah. It's a different world now, man. It really is. I'm old enough, unfortunately, remember when clear coat, base coat first became a thing. And before that, it was all just single stage, no clear coats. And I remember my uncle was our paint guy in the race shop, and he's like, "Holy shit, it's shine in a can! This is great!" It's like a license to kill after that. You know, it was like, hell, I don't have to try to get it, because back then the only way to get shine out of it was to make sure that last coat went on right. You know,
really wet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't even remember wet sanding back then much, unless you had a big run. You know, these are race cars, but our race cars always looked really nice. So
should we touch on guns? That seems to be a reference when it comes to guns. It's
guns and consumables. I think consumables have become a big thing too. I remember painting with my old DeVilbiss HVLP gun, and it sucked cleaning it. It took 3 or 4 times as long as it does to clean these, because you had to clean the cup.
Oh
now,
yeah.
With all these, with these,
the cup.
I use the Harbor Freight cups. I have like 5 of them, and I just keep, you just put the new inserts in it. When you're done, throw it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that one too.
Yeah,
what do they call that? The Spectrum system or something?
Spectrum.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're the same ones that make this light.
Yeah,
but
I gotta go Harbor Freight this weekend.
Trust me, it's worth the money.
You just click the cup on, you mix in the cup. It's got its own strainer in the cup. You can't always use the strainer. Like if you're using some fairly heavy stuff,
tear it out.
You got to cut that strainer out. But that was it was interesting. Again, it's all advanced, so that it's crazy how much nicer it is. And I don't sleep on the Harbor Freight guns. I hear guys talking about all these other fancy guns and all this shit, and I'm like, these work fine. Like, even their $15 purple gun works fine. You just, I use that for primers, like when I'm spraying, like Louis did a video on drilling the tip out to 2 millimeters. And I use that gun for all the heavy sandable primers, and it lays down beautiful. I mean, they're all pretty much the same. Even the price point between the different levels of gun at Harbor Freight has closed up a lot now too. But yeah,
and I keep my drilled out 2.0 tip, and when I purple gun gets worn out, I just go out and buy another $15 purple gun and put my 2.0 tip in.
Yep.
And go to town.
No big deal.
Yeah.
I do wish that Spectrum sold different size tips. If they sold needles and tips for all their guns in different sizes,
that'd be excellent.
I'd have one gun.
Yep.
I wouldn't need a bunch of guns, right? So it's worth buying a nice gun, but a nice gun nowadays is $150, $200.
Yeah.
It's not stupid money like it used to be.
True.
When I was shooting weddings, I did a wedding, and someone would say, like, "Oh, if I had your camera, all my pictures would turn out amazing too." And I would take my camera off and go, "Okay, fine, here."
Yeah, have a go.
I would take their camera and go shoot pictures and come back and go, "You mean like this?" And they're like, "Yeah, I didn't know my camera could do that." I'm like, "It's how you set it up. It's how you dial it in. Is the difference? It's like I used to say, if I had Hemingway's typewriter, doesn't mean I could write like Hemingway."
Yeah, that's right.
So
Billy Brew asked what division I raced in. I raced mostly local tracks here in New Hampshire, but I also raced the American Canadian Tour, the ACT Tour.
Okay.
That was some money. Holy shit. That cost me $1,100 every time I unloaded that car somewhere. It was nuts.
Wow.
Whoa.
Every fucking weekend. Holy shit. Before that, we always made money. Not after that.
I said I did hobby stock in New Mexico back in the mid '90s.
Yeah,
it was maybe $40 a weekend.
Yeah. I was racing late models and late model stock cars. But.
Yep. Find an old Camaro, rip it out.
Yeah.
Do it down. The federal
the Harbor Freight Cup system is worth the money. I know 3M makes one that's about 5 times more expensive that works really well, but honestly, I don't have any problem with this one. It works.
I I think I shared the link with Brian one time. Amazon makes one of those disposable cup system.
Yep.
It actually brings more than what Harbor Freight sell you, and it's cheaper.
Yeah.
I have used both, and I absolutely love it.
Harbor Freight's 20 minutes down the road, and I can go get as many as I want.
Correct. Oh yeah.
And it
Oh
fits
yeah.
all their guns. So I'm like, I'm totally
Yep.
totally happy with that. Harbor Freight's changed a lot too. I remember when I was a kid, Harbor Freight was a joke.
Yes.
And
In
now
the catalog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's like they've upped their game. They've got some serious stuff.
Yeah.
It's super handy having that close, but it's also a problem having it close.
That's
Yes, it is.
my poor I'm curious. I'm almost ready to buy one of their power banks. They have like a 2,300 watt hour like battery pack.
Yeah,
You can,
for
like,
jump starting
plug it
cars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For camping or for out in the middle of nowhere, if I need, for like cutting firewood and stuff. It's what, $800 or something.
Yeah,
But-
no shit.
But apparently it will power like a drill for hours. So I've been thinking about that. VHP 454 says the federal government has been enforcing the 6H rule in Allegheny County in Pennsylvania is getting rid of
Allegheny.
What is it?
Allegheny County.
Allegheny County?
Yeah.
So, and then Billy Bruce says move up to Butler.
They're getting rid of what?
Side shops.
Oh yeah. Mm.
So side hustles, I guess.
Fucking commies.
Right. Kill a commie for mommy. Oh, Bill O'Brien just joined us from St. Louis area. All right, so paint, guns. What's next? If painting your car at home.
Conditions.
Mm.
Temperatures and stuff like that. Like Summit is very good. They have 3 ranges of activators and reducers that you can pick depending on what temperature you're going to be spraying in. I always use the middle of the road. I try to just bring my garage up to that temperature no matter what I do. You can probably hear the heater running in the background right now. Because I am tonight after the show, I'm going to go in there and lay my final top coat so I can get that done tonight. But on that chassis, but yeah, Jonathan he has some settings that he won't go above humidity wise. I generally don't worry about humidity. Our humidity is always about 60 to 70% here. It always is. Even in winter, it'll get a little drier than that. It drop down below 50, but it doesn't really do much to me. So, and again, and if you have a good water drying system in your compressor, if you don't, humidity will play a big factor. But yeah, that's the big thing. You just got to get your temperature right. Got to do your prep right, which I screwed up. And I lost a lot of sleep over that this week. Stupid. But you just go through your steps, be methodical, do the same thing every time, and it'll work. It just does.
So let's take Jim and Kelly. They're restoring a 67 Firebird. And
That's a perfect example.
Their YouTube channel is what? J&K Next Garage?
JK Next Garage, yeah.
JK Garage. So if we were Jim and Kelly, what would you guys suggest to get revved up for this? Like, could they shoot something to get some experience? So, what kind of talk us through that?
So the first thing I would do and did when I was at their stage was I just started shooting epoxy.
I was going to say that, yes.
The epoxy is the key to everything these days. I firmly believe that. Epoxy is your best direct to metal. It's your best seal coat before final paint. Now there's layers in between that, but with epoxy, you eliminate the effects that you would have from any underlaying materials or chemistries. So any like Bondo or any plastic filler, any body filler is porous by nature, and it actually will absorb material. So you have to seal that with something before you paint. And so my advice would be what I did personally was I had some spray bombs. I still have them around here of 2-part epoxy from Eastwood. And if I was doing something like they're doing where I had an interior panel, and after I welded it together and I had a section of unpainted material, I would just take a spray bomb with a 2-part epoxy and seal that up so that it's not going to surface rust. It's not going to flash rust. But then when you get to the point where they're kind of getting to now, where he's putting panels in, he's getting things kind of summed up, then yeah, I would start shooting like you start shooting more of an epoxy coat just to get everything to a known state, get everything where you want it. And yes, Wilder, you when you're spraying epoxy on just bare metal, or you're using it as your base, to seal your metal, you generally just spray it. It's a 1-to-1. The Summit epoxy that I use is 1-to-1. But then when you cut for a seal coat, and they have different colors, because I like to do like black on the metal and then my seal coat white. I like to have different colors, so if I'm sanding through something, I know which layer I'm about to violate.
Yeah.
So, but yes, you do thin it out like 10% or a 4-to-1-to-1. I mean 1-to-1 to 10% for epoxies. I do like to cut that. You can cut them either with most people just use acetone to cut epoxies.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very simple, easy material to cut. There you go. There's JK next.
The channel.
Jim's like me. Jim likes to build a jig for everything. Yeah. I watch it and I'm like, go for it, Jim. Build a jig.
Yeah.
And he gets so into it, man. I love it. It's awesome. So on bare metal, after we grind the metal, we spray PPG epoxy right on the grind. Yep, that's what I did today. After it's set up, we put our Bondo on. Yep. And then, yeah, so basically that's exactly the way I do it. I put down my epoxy, and if I need filler on top of that, I'll put filler over the epoxy. And even if I cut through the epoxy a little bit and get back into metal, my Bondo is still sitting on epoxy. And then before I move on to a sandable primer, like a high build primer, I will just hit it I'll spot hit the epoxy anywhere where I pushed bare metal again. And then I'll just spot coat it, then put my sandable primer on and finish up, and then just seal coat right before the final coat.
I want to let everybody know a secret also when you're using epoxy. If you're not that experienced in doing body work, like the filler work, when you have your panel covered with epoxy and you need to give it a tooth, then you throw your filler on, to feather edge everything and blend everything in is much easier when you have epoxy on than raw metal.
Sure is.
When you have raw metal and you're just throwing the Bondo on top of the raw metal like old school, I've done it. I've done it many times. I became an epoxy believer when Jonathan and me, we talk more, and I want to use different methods. Well, now I'm a big believer in epoxy. That's how I'm going to do it from this point on. And I showed a video recently of me shooting the Lovebird with epoxy. When you're going to build from that epoxy up, it guides you to do, your body works come out. It does so much easier, more level. The process is faster, what I'm trying to say, especially when you don't have that much experience. I've been doing body work for a long time. I won't tell you I'm the best at it, but I ain't that bad at it. But when I did on top of the epoxy, I was like, wow, this thing is going so much faster because you have that. It's like a Geico, I call it.
Right. You can, and that's why I use different colors, so that like my base metal epoxy is black, And as I build out, I'll end up with a seal coat of white on the top. Now they have gray. I use gray on this frame. But the reason that, and most body fillers will say it's direct to metal. Very few of them are good at it. Like the kitty hair and the fiberglass reinforced stuff, you can do direct to metal okay. But your regular plastic filler, and the reason what Louis sees and what he's talking about is that when you put that plastic filler directly on metal, even if you have a tooth in it, it'll pull. It'll pull a little bit as you start to sand, and it'll start to pull that edge back rougher than what you want. Where epoxy, it'll bond that layer and let you really feather it out nice. And like I said, even if you burn through the epoxy while you're block sanding out your Bondo or whatever, or your plastic body filler, just hit it with some more epoxy. Just take 5 minutes and go around and hit all your bare spots one more time and keep going. It's no biggie. And
I ain't gonna lie, I have rolled some epoxy on. When I don't want to mix it up and dirty the gun or anything, I roll that sucker like I'm painting a wall. It works.
Epoxy is amazing how well it settles out. I was joking in there because I got this frame on a rotisserie, and I'm like, wow, rotating this around just confuses the hell out of the runs. Because one time it's running down and it's running up, but by the time I was done, they were all gone because as epoxy cures, it shrinks and it pulls it in, right?
It does.
Pontiac and Picken, yes, you use epoxy seal coat when all your body work's done. Yep. You do a thin epoxy seal coat just to get it all one color and sealed off, so nothing is going to act weird or give you weird reflections. Then your base coat, your clears, your candies, whatever else you want to do. Yep. Just move on from there.
Yep.
But yeah, that was the biggest thing. Like, Brian was bringing this up earlier. When we were younger, there wasn't all these chemistries to play with, and now it's changed a lot. But it's a lot easier if you just take the time to do it right. You go faster. It's smooth as slow, slow as smooth, and smooth as fast. Right?
The epoxy is almost like self-healing.
It does. It levels. It levels out. Like, I ground the hell out of this frame, stripping that other epoxy off it this week. And I had my buddy Todd come over and help me, and thank God he did, because it got me back on track. But I can't see a grind mark in it now. I mean, I cut this frame with 36 grit 2-inch roll lock discs, and I just stripped all the white epoxy off it.
Damn.
And I can't see a damn scratch in it right now. It looks perfect.
It builds real quick and nice.
Fast, it builds hard, and it does. It's kind of self-leveling. It as that molecular reaction starts and that bond starts, it kind of builds a surface tension and flattens it out.
Yep. Another thing I like the epoxy, if you're cutting a panel, right, and you could get behind that panel where you cut, I also spray it there to protect it. Definitely.
Yeah, I see guys that do graveyard cars, and those guys, before they even weld panels on, they'll epoxy the whole inside of the panel except for the weld surfaces, and then they put it right on there. So
that's what I did when I opened up that rear quarter.
Yep,
I had that whole cavity open to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then hit it down.
I did the same thing. Yeah. It made a big difference, and we've often said, Jonathan brings this up all the time, these cars were designed to last like 5 to 7 years.
True.
And we're sitting here 50 odd years now, right? So, we're building them far better than the factory ever did.
Oh yeah, they slapped them together.
They did, and some of it was scary. But
what was the old saying? If it built on
Friday, Monday.
Yeah.
On a Monday and a Friday, you're getting a shit box.
Yeah,
right. Or a Monday after a Super Bowl. Forget it.
Forget about it.
I remember as a kid, I had an uncle or something that had, like, every time he bought a new car and every time he'd go around a corner, he'd hear a rattle. And I remember at some family reunion, him saying that some asshole at the factory put bolts, like, in the trunk area, and as a joke or something. And he had to go and, like, get the bolts out. I'm like,
yeah.
You get a couple rednecks in the Midwest and a few beers, and let's have some fun.
It was certainly a different manufacturing standard back in the 60s.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, today's cars are no better.
Yeah.
They're just thrown together, I think, even worse than what they were in the 60s. You know, I think maybe the robots make it a little better.
Yeah.
Again,
how many times you're gonna blow up a plug weld and it's not even welded?
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
A spot weld for sure.
Yep, it happened to me with that hood. I found so many that look like they there, you know, they penetrate, but they're not. They open.
Yeah.
So I heard a story one time, and I can't remember who was saying it. It might have been Jonathan, it might have been somebody else, but at the factories where they were putting these cars together, the Camaros and Firebirds specifically, the spot welders had a quota of spot welds. So like they had to have, and the machine counted how many spot welds they did. And when it got towards the end of the car, if they were behind, you would see like one every millimeter.
Wow.
Because they had to hit their quota for spot welds, right? So if they were behind towards the end of the car, whatever they were working on at that point really got it. Yeah, that's true, Wilder. 800 cars a day at Norwood. That's mind-boggling when you think about it. 800 cars a day.
Yeah.
That's just insane. You think about what they were doing with Willys Jeeps, right? And they were pumping those things out at like one every 10 minutes or something. It was just
during World War II.
Yeah, during World War II. It was unbelievable.
Pontiacs and Pickens says, I painted my 67 and 79. There was no base clear at that time, only lacquer or enamel, 2 stages, all new to me. Yeah,
no doubt. And we always use lacquer primer, like that red oxide lacquer primer.
Oh yeah, I used to love to use it too.
You just spray it on there, and then you can really smooth it out. It was bulletproof, but it didn't last. But
so Billy Bruce says, my brother-in-law was a technician in the 70s, found a whiskey bottle with a note in it. Took you a while to find this, Rattle. True story. So when I picked up my Firebird, I started tearing it apart. And in the cowl area, I reached my hand down on the driver's side, and I pulled out a 5th bottle of whiskey. It was empty, no cap, but
in the vent.
In the vent, yeah.
Yep.
Did my brother put it there? Did someone from the factory put it there? But it's on my shelf in my living room.
That's cool.
I found a very small bottle that was baby powder, supposedly.
Wow.
Of white powder hidden in that same spot, but on the passenger side. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Baby powder. Yeah.
So, hey, that's one other point I wanted to bring up in this, especially for Jim and Kelly. After you put on the cowl panels that cover that vent area,
the cowl shoulders,
I call them cowl panels, but the kidney pans or whatever you call them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good idea because if you can get inside there through the vent to seam seal the inside. You see everybody seam seals the outside, but very rarely do you see anybody actually get in there with liquid seam sealer and seam seal that inside, because that's where the rot starts. It's not starting on the outside. It's coming from inside that panel where the water comes down from the vent and douches all through there. Yeah.
On my video, I did as much as I could reach inside under the dash, because you get into the dash panel there too.
Right.
And I went down.
Yep. I got right in there, and Eastwood makes a brushable seam sealer. It's gray, and you just put it on with like a little flux brush. And I got right in there and just, you can really get in there good from those vents before you put it all together.
Oh, and
it's a good thing to do because, again, that is where the rust starts. The factory seam sealed the outside.
Correct.
But the water's coming from the inside.
Right.
So it's getting trapped in that seam. So, for the first gen guys and everybody else, it's a great place to seam seal. It really is.
Well, I might do that.
And make sure that bottom section stays open.
Definitely.
Reboot it, Isaac.
Isaac, turn it off, turn it back on. Some of my guys from work.
Give it the old 3-finger salute. Control, Alt, Delete.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Lila.
Anyway.
Oh, Lila says, there's a reason why nowhere to close.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember I worked in a paper mill I come from a small paper town up north, like right on the Canadian border. And it was a paper mill. And when I was, all the kids in town, if they had family that worked in the mill, when they went to college, they would give us jobs in the summer between semesters, filling in for all the union guys that had 13 weeks of vacation, right?
Right.
So we would go in, and I was lucky. I ended up working in the shipping department, just driving fork trucks all day. It was awesome. But you go out into the old sections of the warehouse, and you'd be cruising through these giant stacks of fine paper, and you'd find this like little tunnel that went back through and all this old paper that never shipped. And in the middle was like this cavern they had in there with a friggin' lounge and a TV, got sofas, a refrigerator full of booze. I mean, it's like, what the hell were you guys doing? They're sitting there 3 to 11 getting loaded every night. I'm like, wow.
I tease people that at my server room, I have a hammock between the racks.
Hey, where I went down and bought this 57 pickup last week with my uncle, I go in his garage, and they had the truck in there, and he had a couch in his garage. And I'm like, that's smart.
Thinking.
If I had any room at all.
Just add on, Mike. Just add some more, space there.
Oh, jeez. That's a whole thing.
All right, so we talked paint, we talked guns. What
Conditions, climate.
Yeah,
we spoke a little body work.
Yep. You guys have any questions out there for us? Put them in the comments.
Another thing that people do that's controversial is wetting the floor down. I was always taught to do that.
I never did.
I've never done it.
The issue you have with it is that it does introduce a lot of humidity that's very, very close to the bottom of the car.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of see both ways in that argument. What I did in my booth, because my booth is just a garage bay where I put up lights and fans and insulated it. But what I did that seemed to work really well for me to keep the dust down was I got some of that RAM board, that thick rollout, almost like a craft paper, but it's super thick.
Right.
And I just coated the floor with that before I painted. And there was enough moisture in the air that it kept it absorbed that moisture, but it kept the dust down really well. Flying W Garage, air pressure. This is a good one. I was always taught, and some people may have different ideas, but I was always taught that your regulator on the wall gets you halfway. So in other words, your regulator on the wall, you want to run it like, if you're going to run 20 PSI at the gun with this regulator, do 40 at the wall.
Yes.
Because you don't want all the drop right here. Because that's really inefficient and it can build moisture. So now, the other thing that people screw up is when they're setting the pressure right here on the gun. When you're setting the pressure on the gun, you got to have your finger on the trigger. Because if you set the pressure at the gun without it coming out, it's two different readings.
Correct.
As soon as you pull that trigger, the pressure on the gun is going to change radically.
Yeah.
So now some guns actually give you a pressure at the tip. And this one even writes on the tip, max 10 PSI at the tip. We have no way of knowing what the hell it is at the tip. Some guns actually have like a digital readout on that, but those are high-end guns. But I always run, depends on what I'm doing, but I try to run, just south of like 20 PSI, like 18 to 20 PSI. and then
At the gun.
At the gun with the trigger pulled, I'm at 18, somewhere around there. Depends on what I'm spraying. Again, if I'm spraying like a chassis, I go a little lower because I don't want to fog myself out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you like to keep it low. It keeps the pressure down. If you keep your HVLP settings right, you don't get a lot of ambient.
Yeah. Also on the regulator, if you guys could buy the one with the glass window, no plastic window, but when you're cleaning, the solution doesn't fog it up, you will never be able to use it again.
Yeah. And I have a little regulator that's digital. I don't have it on here right now because the battery was dead when I picked it up the other day. That's one problem with those, but this is a pretty critical part. You don't want, I think that $15 purple gun comes with a regulator, doesn't it? And it's not very good.
Yeah.
So, what's that?
The model up the purple gun does.
Okay.
But the purple one itself doesn't, no.
No.
You want to have a decent regulator. It is important.
It is.
Yeah, he uses a separate air compressor. This is true. Electric air dryer. Yeah, you could sink some wicked money into air dryers. It's crazy. But I have a Redneck Bush Fix that works really good for me. Yep, there you go. Yeah, my transmission cooler on my compressor. I will do a video on that at some point. I got to do it. I've promised people on this show that I would do it, and
I'm interested in seeing that too, Mike.
Right, I will do that. I promise. But yeah, that's generally what I do. VHP is I run 60 to 50 on the wall, and then 20 at the gun.
Yep.
And then let her eat, and then I control everything else with flow and fan.
Louis, that Temu gun, what was your pressure at the gun?
I put it at 25, I think.
25?
Yeah, because I was also spraying epoxy primer, and it was cold. That thing was so thick. I was talking to Jonathan about it. That when it's cold, it's not really good to paint. But I had no choice because I wanted to seal my body work, everything else, because I want to start dedicating my time to this project behind me, this car, the Neighbor. So I didn't want to leave it like that for so long. The more long you leave it, the more problems you could have of touching it with dirty hands or somebody else touching it. So I had no choice. It was like maybe 50 degrees that night. So I noticed the paint was getting thick on me, but I shot it with 25 PSI. I had no problem. I mean, Jonathan said, "You looks like a like a natural painting." That was one of my pet peeves. I'll be honest with you. Welding and painting, when I got into this hobby, I wanted to learn it real good. And I'm not saying I'm the master, I'm still learning, but I really focus on those two.
Yeah. The other thing we should probably talk about is prep.
Yes.
When you're getting ready to paint, tack free, tack cloths, I'm a big believer in that. But if I'm doing bare metal, this is where I screwed up last week, apparently. I tried to do acetone first with a brush, and I really just scrubbed the acetone in, which I did not do. I just wiped it with acetone because I was in a hurry. But then after I get my acetone in, I let that dry, which is almost instantly by the time you go all the way around something. Only use acetone on bare metal. If there's any chemistry on it, don't use acetone. Yeah. But if it's bare metal, you can use acetone as a wipe, and it works really good. And then use any wax and grease remover. I use that. And then your final wipe should be with a tack cloth and just kind of pull any other dust off. The other thing I was teasing Brian about this, but it's true. When I paint up here, especially in the summer, I'll keep a pair of tweezers in my pocket, like over the edge of my pocket. Yep, the fucking bugs. Because if a fucking mosquito decides to kamikaze in the middle of your door, you can wet sand that out later, but if his leg's still in there, it's going to stay there, right? So if you see something like that, you pull it out before it gets wet, It could be a June bug. Who knows?
Yes.
But you always try to, if you see some junk land in your paint, try to get it out, because it's easier to fix you pulling it out than trying to, pull a bug carcass out later.
Yeah.
That's a thing. But prep wise, that's what I generally do. And then, wet sanding, you could do a whole show on wet sanding too.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Wet cut and buff and all that. I've never really done much cut and buff until this Firebird. I'm a believer now, man. It just changes everything. It's just really nice.
It takes it from here to there.
Yeah, it sure does. It really does. Gives it a lot of depth.
Yep. And especially that's what you're going for.
I use Comet Cleaner and wash the entire car after I use wax and grease remover for people. Yeah. Summit makes wax and grease. They make what they call a surface wash, which I'm not real clear what the difference between surface wash and the wax and grease remover is. I don't think surface wash is as aggressive. I think it's, I think it's more for right before you do a clear coat or something like that. And try to keep your hands off it. Some people are really bad. I'm lucky. I'm not terrible, but there's some people that can touch bare metal and leave enough oil that or salt that it's rusted by the next morning. Other people, it really just depends on your physiology, I guess. But
gloves.
Yeah,
I use gloves. Yep, I use gloves.
And safety equipment. I see people all the time on YouTube painting without a mask. You're an idiot. With today's, especially with these 2-part chemicals with like the epoxies, that shit is going to cure. That stuff's going to cure in your lungs, and it's not good. I tried to. What do you use for heat in your garage? I have. It's right now. It's pretty cold up here. It's been 30s, 20s at night, and only getting up to about 40 during the day. So my little side bay, I have a couple of electric heaters, and then right before, like an hour before I paint, I'll fire up my little propane gun heater. And I try to always get it up to about 65 to 70 in there before I'll spray. And measure your material, measure your surface. Don't look at a thermometer on the wall. Take one of those laser guns and measure the car, measure the metal, because that's all that matters. That what it is in the room doesn't matter. It's what temperature is that metal you're painting.
Louis, how do you heat your garage?
My garage is insulated. I mean, it really doesn't get cold in here. I work in here all year, I have a thermometer on the wall, and right now it reads like 55, and outside I think it's like 20 something.
So it's about, let's see what it is today, right here.
Yeah, I couldn't do that, Louis.
Come on.
Too much of a candy ass for that.
It's
I gotta have it warm.
Right.
Oh, you better get out a coat, Brian.
It's 60. So I don't heat my garage there, Jim and Kelly. Yeah. If I do, I go like this. Okay, it's heated up. Yeah. It's keeping it cool in the summer is the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can only paint 4 months of the year.
Yeah. Like in July when I shot the fender extensions.
Oh yeah.
Little things. I was shooting, it was basically like powder coating.
Yeah, hitting it with dust.
Like drying before it touched the panel. I was like,
yeah,
too hot.
Nope. I'll wait till October, November.
Yep.
Right,
I hear you.
Got hour mark, guys. If
Sweet.
you have any more questions, let us know. But this weekend, depending on weather, I'd like to get the door jams done and the trunk jam and be able to move forward with that. My goal is to have the car 100% painted by the first of the year.
Nice.
We got, Thanksgiving next weekend, so that's kind of a killer there. Nothing's going to really happen. And then you have a few weeks in December, then you're into the holidays there. And so I'm going to be pushing myself to maybe take some days off during the week to get caught up. And hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have a painted bird and put back together.
I've got weather issues here. I mean, we have a boat outside right now that's supposed to be in the paint booth. That's where it sleeps for the winter. And the it got enough rain on it that it pulled up in the cover, and my wife was out there bailing it out today in big chunks of ice.
Ooh.
So yeah, good time. So I've got so much to do to get ready for winter, and I'm so far behind. So my plan tonight is I'm going to spray this final coat of chassis black tonight, get this done, roll it back in the shop in the morning, so I'm going to be rest of the weekend just putting stuff away and getting ready for snow.
Are you going to record tonight, Mike?
Yeah. I've been recording all day on it. So yeah.
Cool.
So trivia. So this one actually comes from James. In the mid 80s, Pontiac came out with a Ferrari clone. And it only lasted like 200 units before Ferrari in court shut it the heck down.
Really?
You guys know what the name of that Pontiac was that looked like a Ferrari?
I seen that. I just can't remember the name.
So that's our trivia tonight. If you can get what was the name of the model that Pontiac made that was a Ferrari clone, and Ferrari sued Pontiac and won. So only like 200 cars were built before production ceased.
I don't know, but now I want one.
I know, that's what I said. When James sent it to me, I was like, "What?" And they looked like just a little tiny, smaller version of a Ferrari. And you can go, yeah. I had no clue that it even existed until James
really
sent me a message on it. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. I've currently in my shop a 68 Roadrunner, a 71 Pantera, 67 Camaro, 69 AMX, and a 69 Cutlass.
Sweet.
Got a whole shop there, buddy.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't see anyone popping with an answer yet.
No.
I think we got.
James did a good job there.
I know, James. We gotta send you something. Send you some stickers or something.
I know it's not the Banshee. That was the Corvette variant.
Yeah, they shot down. Yeah,
they got shot down, and that's how the Firebird was born, actually.
Yes. Yep.
Because GM told them they couldn't do the Banshee, so they jumped on the Firebird bandwagon late in '67.
Yep.
I have no idea. I have never heard of this.
Let's see here if I can pull this up.
Can you share your screen?
That's what I'm trying to do here. Let's see if I can pull this up.
No, not the Fiero.
No, it wasn't the Fiero.
They made millions of those.
Let me see here. Okay, here it is. Hold on. Let's see. Let me figure out the software here. Let me add. And we're going to go to a share screen. And we're going to go to this one. And we're going to share. And then
What the hell is that?
1988 Pontiac Fiero, but it looks like a Ferrari. That's not all that rare because a lot of people use the Fiero to create replica Ferraris and Lamborghinis throughout the 1980s and into the 90s. The rare part is that this wasn't done by some guy in his garage. This was sold new at a Pontiac dealer in the 1980s. They called it the Pontiac Mira, and it was a Ferrari replica you could buy straight from Pontiac right up until Ferrari sued them. Buckle up, because today you're going to get all the quirks and features of the Pontiac Mira, an insane fake Ferrari that's a lot more interesting than some guy's backyard replica project.
That's cool.
So yeah, there you go.
Huh.
The Mira.
That's funny.
Yep. And now I want
one. VHP 454 is your winner.
Yep. There it is. Sweet. All right, gentlemen. Good luck this weekend on your projects.
Yeah.
Yep.
You too.
Should be fun.
I'm sure we'll chat through the week.
I'll probably text both of you like, son of a mother.
One of you assholes needs to fly out here right now.
Right. Stacked. Let me go on Donald
after that last picture. After that last picture you sent me with all the orange peel, I'm like, I'm booking a ticket.
I think Jonathan too was like, "I'm coming out. I gotta save him. Save him. Tap out."
Yeah. All right, guys. Well,
Gentlemen.
thanks for everything. We'll see you next week.
All right. Take care.
I gotta
Good night.
get to painting.
Bye.
Later.
Good luck, buddy.
Later.
Later.